Today, I'm taking you on a one-day trip to Cordoba, Spain, and we're going by train. Starting point, Malaga train station. Cordoba is a relatively small city. It's approximately 300,000 inhabitants, and it's the third largest in the Andalusia region. As you could see here, we walked from the train station to the central area, and that was our mode of transport all day since everything is quite close and the town is very walkable. And not only is it walkable, but there's plenty of greenery and fountains, which helped with the scorching sun. On our way, we stopped for breakfast at this market, I guess. That's what it's called, Mercado Victoria. However, this video is from my Ray-Ban Meta glasses in the morning, and this one right here is from the afternoon when we were going back to the train station, and you can tell the difference. It was practically empty in the morning, whereas later it became quite vibrant and full of people. After breakfast, we continued to the historic center, which per Wikipedia is one of the largest of its kind in Europe. Initially, UNESCO registered only the Mosque-Cathedral. However, later that expanded to the old town that you can see here on video. It's a beautiful mix of small gardens, sculptures, narrow cobblestone streets, and old houses. And as we walked around, I kept saying that the architecture reminded me of coastal towns in Greece and Italy. So let me know, what do you think? Does this place appear coastal to you, or is it just me? Of course, the main attraction in this area is the Mosque-Cathedral, which we only briefly checked out once we reached it, as we had a guided tour booked for later. We found the meeting spot though, made sure to remember where it is, and went towards the river, which I'm sorry to say, but I can't pronounce the name, it's too complicated. The bridge is called Puente Romano, which translates to Roman bridge, and although it's very pretty, this part of Cordoba does not have much shade, which made it difficult to enjoy the area. So be sure to bring UV umbrella or a hat, because the sun is truly unforgiving. The bridge is interesting because it was originally built in the 1st century BC, but of course it was reconstructed multiple times since then. Today it only carries pedestrians and bicycles, and at the other end of the bridge is the Calahorra Tower, first built by the Almohad Caliphate in 1333 to protect the bridge. It was restored in the 1990s along with the bridge, and it's included in the Cultural Heritage Awards Europa Nostra that you saw a few moments ago in the video. I believe this is exactly where my phone overheated, and so we went to lunch to cool down both ourselves and our devices before the mosque tour. Now, the Cathedral Mosque. I'm almost at a loss of words, and I'm actually unsure how to describe it. It's a literal clash of everything, of architecture styles, culture, ornaments. It's just all over the place, and they're still working on it. There was still construction going on while we were inside. It's one of those things that you just have to see to believe it, but to try to summarize it, it's actually unknown what this place was initially. There are claims it was a Roman church, and then that it was a Visigothic church, which was shared by Christians and Muslims after the Arab conquest. But apparently the evidence for both claims is insufficient. However, there is some evidence for both. So what is certain is that in this spot, a mosque was built in the 8th century, and then it was converted into a Catholic cathedral in the 13th century. Obviously, some parts were also added in the meantime, so it's not just the original mosque simply turned into a church, but they also added the chapels and this absolutely breathtaking Renaissance cathedral part. Again, I'm not sure what terminology to use because there's so many elements to the whole building. But if you ask me, visiting is absolutely a must, and I don't regret doing the guided tour as it was a local guide, and the locals always add their own touch and their own emotions to the story. After, we planned to visit the Alcázar, I guess, de los Reyes Cristianos, which is Spanish for Castle of the Christian Monarchs, also known as the Alcázar of Cordoba. However, unfortunately, it was closed. We peeked a bit through the gate and walked around. The area itself is very pretty. And then another item on our itinerary, the synagogue, was also closed. So we did what any reasonable tourist would do. We walked ourselves through these wonderful parks to the mall. This here is a public toilet. I thought that'd be useful, especially for the Americans that always complain about the lack of public toilets in Europe. But other than that, I don't really have anything to add other than if you're visiting during summer, bring a hat, an umbrella, a tent if you have to, because it's going to be hot. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Vamos.